Angel Reese, as you know, shoved or tried to pick a fight with Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark.
I mean, it's crazy. White girl running from the fade. There's Angel Reese right there.
Angel Reese reposted this to her TikTok account. I know the image is blurry and filled with grammatical and spelling errors. I'm honestly surprised that
Angel Reese pushed someone in the back. They didn't call it. She got the offensive rebound. Caitlin Clark gave her a hard.
I just think that Angel Reese really don't like this motherfucker, you know.
And that's fine. And that's fine. Whether
that's
she does
fine.
or
Yeah,
doesn't, that's fine.
absolutely.
Right.
They didn't call it, but Angel Reese shoved someone in the back and got the offensive rebound. I really believe that Angel Reese truly gave her a hard time because Caitlin Clark.
There's, of course, Caitlin Clark doing the responsible thing, not wanting to tank her public relations. Like Angel Reese walking away after the take foul the other night.
After uploading a contentious video that was obviously directed at Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese has just sparked an internet uproar that fans are characterizing as anything from petty to downright cruel.
this hatred that Angel Reese has for Caitlin Clark, it appears to be racially motivated, which is something that we talked about last year when Angel Reese was entering the WNBA dump.
Wrath, jealousy, and perhaps even a trace of something deeper. We have never seen this side of Angel Reese before.
Angel Reese, as you know, shoved or tried to pick a fight with Caitlin Clark. And she shoved another player and got knocked to the ground and then hopped up and tried to fight Caitlin Clark. You know all that.
Just when you thought Angel Reese and Caitlin's turmoil was Clark couldn't have a more outrageous boom. When Angel posts it on TikTok, it's not subtle. A video is released and the internet goes crazy.
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. The beef is reunited. I didn't get a chance to see the game because I was coaching this weekend, but from what I did see, Angel Reese pushed someone in the back. They didn't call it. She got the offensive rebound. Caitlin Clark gave her a hard take foul.
Even though the WNBA season is just getting started, we're already seeing fireworks between two of the top talents in the league. What caused this most recent outburst? And why is the internet going crazy about what Angel just posted?
Right there. There's the picture. And Angel Reese did, in fact, repost this on TikTok, it looks like, and share it. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Or are you kidding me?
Foul It All began with a TikTok that sent shockwaves through the basketball community. A video of a bold and controversial white girl running from the fade was posted online, and right there in the frame was Caitlin Clark leaving after a take foul, which many saw as the wise professional move to avoid needless drama.
Oh, I mean the women's tournament. Watch it for yourself.
Me and Caitlin Clark don't hate each other. Like, I want everybody to understand that it's just a super competitive game, and like, I just wish people realize that. Like,
I don't think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were ever friends. They weren't walking down the street together holding hands and singing their favorite Taylor Swift songs. I love you, you love me, let's hold hands and be besties.
Angel herself once explained in an interview that there was no animosity between them, just two athletes competing fiercely on the court at the time. It appeared that their interactions were based on mutual respect. They weren't exactly best friends, but they weren't enemies either. Rather, it was the kind of fierce rivalry that sports fans love.
Tough being me, but God's protecting me from these noises and these crazy Indiana Fever fans. This is the hatred of Caitlin Clark. She's irate with Caitlin Clark. She hates Caitlin Clark, and she's trying to pawn it off. Okay, Caitlin Clark has done nothing to me, but Caitlin Clark fan.
No, I'm referring to the women's tournament. Watch it for yourself. He and Caitlin Clark don't despise one another. I simply hope that everyone knows that it's a fiercely competitive game. I don't think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were ever friends. They weren't holding hands and singing their favorite Taylor Swift songs while strolling down the street together. Let's be best friends and hold hands. Angel Reese appeared to shove another player during a heated moment in the game, but she wasn't finished. She leaped back up, obviously fired up and focused on Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just a competitive spark. It looked personal, as if she was prepared to pick a fight right there on the hardwood, with the cameras recording every second.
I think Angel dramatized it a little bit and flailed, but then she got up, ready for smoke. And now the talk is this, does she hate? I don't give a shit if they like each other or not. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think what has grown this game is the storyline and the rivalry that started back in college.
Reese tumbled down with her arms flapping, making it obvious that she wasn't going to let the moment pass. Angel surged up, ready for whatever came next, eyes blazing with competitive fire. The contact was difficult, but the message was louder. This wasn't just another game.
Some jamoke wants to talk like that, then go home. I don't want to hear it. I love this rivalry. I am here for every single second of it. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special,
Some people would be eager to call the tension between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese a full-fledged rivalry, but let's face it, when one team loses by 35 points, that's not a rivalry. That's precisely what happened when the Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, faced Chicago.
So now that I'm really starting to look into this, I'm like, God, not only is this real, but you've got media members that actually do try to hold the WNBA to some kind of responsibility. They're talking about there's no room for hate, this and that and the other one, and you got a player that's blatantly advocating for violence against far and away your most popular player. All right, and bringing race into the situation.
The reaction was swift and severe. As soon as the repost went viral, both fans and media personalities were enraged. Many people were shocked that a professional athlete like Angel Reese would repost something so offensive, particularly when it appeared to target not only Caitlin Clark, but also incite racial tension. Sports media began denouncing it as what appeared to be an obvious, hateful slur.
Right here, I asked the WNBA if they had a comment on Angel Reese's racist post on TikTok about Caitlin Clark. The league had no comment, nor would it address Reese suggesting she wants to fight Caitlin Clark. So much for, quote, zero tolerance for hate.
It appeared to many that the league was ignoring the involvement of Angel, who some even accused of encouraging violence under the pretense of competition. At that point, the outcry really began to grow. It was no longer just about a TikTok. It was about accountability, consistency, and whether the league was prepared to stand by its principles when things became uncomfortable.
Whoever posted this originally was able to spell "the" correctly. But the message, it says, "white girl running from the fade."
Additionally, all of this happened just days after the WNBA publicly committed to upholding inclusivity and unity through its No Space for Hate campaign. However, the league's silence was deafening when one of their own posts was so inflammatory and divisive, and then came the TikTok post that started it all.
It's kind of ironic because the last time that Joy Reid was at the barber, she ran from the fade too and went with the full shave. I'm assuming, though, that the racial connotation here is that Caitlin Clark is a scared white girl running away from the black woman.
Angel Reese remained silent and released a fuzzy, low-quality video that was loud enough on its own. Despite the numerous spelling errors in the meme, the meaning was very apparent. It wasn't subtle or creative. The white girl running from the fade was an obvious jab at Caitlin Clark, laced with what many are referring to as racial undertones, and then the floodgates opened.
But in Indiana, it's just so racist. They heard racial slur. Anyway, Angel Reese got asked about it yesterday at a Chicago Sky practice, and magically no one asked, and she never offered up.
However, there was one thing that was unclear. Nobody seemed to know exactly what was said in the arena. Angel Reese didn't say, the team didn't say, and the league couldn't confirm it either. Nevertheless, an investigation was started, and the story was shared on social media. but the details remained hazy following the online and on-court commotion.
Obviously, there's no place in this league for that. I think the WNBA and our team and our organization has done a great job supporting me. I've had communication from everyone, from so many people across this league, and being able to support me and going through this whole process. Obviously, it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone, and I think they've done a great job supporting us in this.
How did it affect you Saturday, trying to do your job, trying to play, and having this going on simultaneously?
Yeah, obviously it's tough, but I think I have a great support system. I'm loved by so many people, and obviously in the moment it's hard to hear, but my support system is great. God has protected me in so many different ways. I've gone through so many different things in the past couple of years of my life, but I think just having this support and this love and being a part of an organization that really supports me and loves me is something I couldn't imagine not being.
Up reporters were looking for clarification. What actually occurred, what was said, but when the questions came, Angel didn't go into detail. Instead, she talked about support, mentioning the WNBA, her teammates, and her organization standing by her. She also talked about the difficulties, including how difficult it is to play through the noise and how she relies on her inner circle for support.
They have a rivalry that kind of goes back, to their days at Iowa and LSU. And they've always been competing against each other for national championships. They've always been, first team All-Americans. Like, they are rivals on the basketball court, right?
Didn't just compete. They also faced off against each other in national championships, first team All-American honors, and highlight reels full of passion and aggression. From their early matchups to their current position in the pros, they have never backtracked from one another and have established reputations for toughness, swagger, and an unwavering will to win. Now, that college intensity is translating into the WNBA spotlight.
She wasn't on the receiving end of the hard foul. She gave the hard foul, right? And so, you know what I mean? That, to me, that said, okay, she's coming in with a different disposition this year. Right? She ready for the shit. She ready for the smoke. Yep. So I like to see that. But for every action, there's a reaction. Now, one thing we know about that little Barbie from Baltimore, Maryland, she got time, right? And so she reacted. If it was Angel Reese, if it was somebody else, she was going to react like that because that's how Miss Reese conducts herself on the court. She's a junkyard dog.
Angel Reese hasn't changed. Even though Reese-Clark may be entering this season with a stronger body and a different outlook.
Reese-Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Reese-Clark, because when Reese-Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Reese-Clark once it was Reese-Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous.
Angel, when it was Angel's turn after LSU dominated Iowa in the national championship, everything changed. Reese clapped back in a big way, giving Caitlin a taste of her own medicine, and that's what put Angel on the map. Reese's popularity didn't just come from her skills. It exploded after that unforgettable moment against Reese-Clark, when Clark had been taunting opponents during her rise. The media didn't say much after that. Rhee was suddenly more than just a player. She was a headline thanks to that moment of unreserved confidence that put the world on notice. A viral video was a sign of bravery, but notoriety came at a cost.
They're the ones grabbing the ratings. They're the ones paying up for the tickets, even on the road. And I've got to wonder, are you going to start seeing more empty seats even at Reese-Clark games? Because I can tell you this, just from what I can gauge, a lot of Fever fans are already sort of fed up.
People are beginning to pose difficult questions, such as whether the WNBA is truly focused on expanding the sport or more on drama and division, whether it protects all of its players equally or just some, and what happens to the fans, the ones who attend games, purchase tickets, and keep the league afloat, when they feel like their opinions are being disregarded.
There's other things going on like this being shared by Angel Reese. WNBA's turning a blind eye to it. Do they not realize, look, if you want to be taken as number one, if you want to keep all these new fans around, and you want to be treated like a real sports league, you've got to start taking things like this seriously.
Fever fans, who have been among the most devoted and enthusiastic this season, are already expressing their frustration in the stands. If the league doesn't handle these situations fairly and clearly, it runs the risk of offending the very audience it has been trying so hard to cultivate, because the WNBA needs to start acting like a professional league if it hopes to be taken seriously as such.
Angel Reese posted this on TikTok yesterday. Here we are, 24 hours later, and I have yet to see the WNBA launch an investigation. Well, that's strange. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Wasn't it last Thursday that the WNBA launched their No Space for Hate campaign? No space for hate. No space for hate.
The WNBA, which only days ago claimed to take hate seriously, has yet to acknowledge the post, issue a statement, launch an investigation, or address the outcry despite the obvious contradiction with their own No Space for Hate pledge. Silence speaks louder than words.
It's because this initiative was never meant to monitor WNBA players. It was never meant to monitor the minuscule fan base of Angel Reese. This program was specifically designed for fans of Caitlin Clark, or as the media prefers to call them, white people.
Many people are left wondering if Angel Reese is getting away with it, or if the league is selectively enforcing its own values based on who is involved. The public has begun to make connections. Some claim it's not just jealousy. Others think it's personal, and still others think Angels are being influenced by resentment that has subtly grown among some players as they watch Caitlin Clark take center stage. But whatever the cause, the WNBA's inaction is beginning to appear less like oversight and more like complicity.
They're real bad people, and they're in the arena shouting negative things at me, racist things. Let's think it through, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to keep it real. I'm trying to drag the rest of you into reality. What do you think would be more likely to happen at a WNBA game? Lesbians throwing their panties at Angel Reese, or lesbians yelling racial slurs and taunts at Angel?
Whether you like it or not, the WNBA is being fueled like never before by the rivalry, respect, and raw emotion between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. One thing is certain, though, neither of these women is backing down. Stay tuned for more updates, because this drama is only beginning.